delighted to be joined today by Prabhakar Reddy from FalconX. Prabhakar, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me, Teana.
And congratulations on your recent £17 million funding round. FalconX has been flying somewhat under the radar before the announcement of the raise, so congratulations. For those of us who might not be aware of who you are and what you do, tell us the FalconX story and what stage are you at in the company now?
Sure thing. So FalconX is a digital asset trading platform built ground up for institutional investors. We service some of the largest digital asset hedge funds, prop trading firms, OTC desks, payment gateways, and miners around the world. We exist primarily to deliver best-in-class pricing, which is very tight spreads with zero slippage, no hidden fees, primarily to institutional investors. Right? We launched, I would say, about over a year ago, primarily to scratch our own itch, and we are today one of the largest digital asset trading platforms in the world.
Yeah.
We're also very fortunate to be backed by some of the world's notable investors, such as Accel, Accomplice, Lightspeed, Coinbase, and Fidelity.
Great. Well, I think most great entrepreneurs end up trying to solve a problem that they experience themselves, right? So interesting that that's how your story started. So prime brokerage seems to be a really hot topic right now. Everybody wants to get into the prime brokerage space. Can you briefly explain to our viewers that might not be familiar with what exactly prime brokerage is? So, the finance community may understand, but the crypto community, this may be new. And what problem it solves for crypto?
Absolutely. So prime brokerage, in a very simple nutshell, is nothing but few core product lines bundled together to offer a one-stop shop, primarily to its institutional investors, right? In crypto, it consists of three primary pillars. One is trading, custody, and lending or margin, right? So various companies are approaching this from different starting points to build towards the same goal. We started this from a trading point of view.
Okay. But you'll still offer that same type of bundle to help the institutional, because I think institutional audiences have slightly different needs in that they're used to going to market in a different way than maybe retail investors are. So retail investors may be used to going to different people to get different things, but institutions are used to kind of a one-stop shop approach.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. So they would like to basically consolidate their efforts because institutions trade, 100x more than what retail investors do almost on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So their needs are a lot more bespoke. And so just making sure that the latency needs are met, the slippage needs are met, and no hidden fees are charged to them is very important compared to what retail users have.
Indeed. Yeah. So in recent news, we've seen Coinbase acquire Tagomi. Genesis has acquired the custodian Vault and have announced their move into prime brokerage services, and BitGo as well into a vertical. So what's the specific USP or your edge that FalconX brings to the market against your competitors?
It's a very good question, Teana. So to understand our edge, you need to understand the difference between, say, an agency broker versus a principal desk. Right?
Okay.
So I'll explain perhaps with an example, right? So if Teana is looking to buy 10 BTC from an agency dealer, you get the price of, say, right now it's $9,745, right?
Yep.
And at the time, by the time you go to execute at that price, say the price in Gemini or Coinbase moves to $9,750, you actually end up paying that price. In addition to that, you're sometimes, charged the fees of Coinbase, Gemini, and other execution venues, as well as your own Tagomi or SFox's fees, right? So that creates a lot of complexity for institutional investors who actually want just one price at the time they're looking to execute. So if you come to a principal desk, right, and Teana comes to FalconX to buy 10 BTC, we give you a quote of $9,741. We guarantee that price for you for a defined period of time, right? So you only have to deal with FalconX. You don't have to worry about Coinbase's fees or price on Gemini and going somewhere else. No slippage, no hidden fees, one guaranteed price. So it's two different approaches, and ours clicked well with institutional investors, I'd say.
And I think that there's something about, unique around how you utilize AI on your platform. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'd say it's less AI and more machine learning and data science.
Okay.
Right, we are not yet at the AI level, but what we do to effectively give you that, guaranteed price for a defined period of time is synthesize large sets of data, right? Where in a market that's extremely volatile like crypto, while pulling liquidity from structured liquidity sources as well as unstructured liquidity pools, we actually need to give you that defined time guarantee. So that is how we use machine learning.
Excellent. Okay. So prime brokerage can be quite balance sheet intensive. So how does a new to the market player like FalconX compete with the likes of a Coinbase, for example, that might have a deeper balance sheet?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And that keeps us up, almost every day in terms of how to build a large balance sheet. But, if you look at it, Fidelity was not built in a day. And neither was Coinbase, right? Indeed. So we have a methodical plan of action to build towards our goals. And I'd like to point out two things, right? One, they're very fortunate to have the backing of some of the largest funds in fintech, right? And two, you combine that with our ability to monetize very early. Actually, it has allowed us to scale very rapidly. I think we are on a very good track or trajectory to get there, actually.
Great. Okay. So we've been hearing in the industry, and we've been saying in the industry for, probably 24 months, a couple of years now, that the institutions are coming. The institutions are coming, right? And who are these institutions? Are the banks? Are they asset managers? Who are the institutions? But that story's been kind of playing in the background for some time in crypto. Do you sense that services like yours, and I think specifically things like prime brokerage that are really kind of tailored around that same institutional experience, will help those institutions come? Are we starting to now tick those boxes for those types of investors and entities to get into the space?
Yeah, we've all heard that narrative since perhaps late 2017, early 2018, right? So when we entered the market, there were lots of inefficiencies, and they were quite glaringly visible. But I think, ever since FalconX has entered the space, we've actually seen quite a difference that we ourselves have made in the space. Okay. For example, right, like if you look at spreads on OTC for institutional investors, about a year ago, they were 10x of what they are today, right? That made it very difficult for a sophisticated institutional trader to see the industry as a mature market, right? We still have a long way to go, but I think our ability to provide a guaranteed price, in addition to filtering out all this bad market data that exists in this space, provides, I think, a level of trust and transparency that these experienced institutions that are looking to come into the space need.
So how do you identify what assets are going to be the most important to your clients? How do you focus in on what that product proposition is? What are the institutions interested in?
So if you look at what majority of our institutional clientele have been trading, is primarily BTC-ETH and mostly stablecoins.
Okay,
right?
So top is the league table.
Yeah, so we offer primarily the top 5 in stablecoins. But as the market expands, we'll have to see, because the market needs liquidity and depth in order to be able to cater to institutions. A lot of the other coins don't. So it's primarily concentrated, head heavy around BTC and ETH right now.
Okay. So I'm going to put you in the hot seat a little bit. Sure. You are coming to market in a really chaotic and interesting time from an economic perspective and monetary policy, and COVID-19 has really caused havoc on global economies. So what do you see the next 12 months looking like for FalconX, for the market overall, and how do you guys fit into that? Where's the opportunity? Where's the challenge?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So our core business is spot, crypto trading. And from our own product point of view, we're actually rolling out several new product enhancements that we'll be announcing soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
But we plan to primarily enable new use cases, right, that build on FalconX's deep liquidity as well as trading infrastructure, like cross-border B2B payments. That's something that we're excited to venture into. But from an overall industry perspective, you're right. We are, in a very interesting economic environment. Investors around the world are starting to look for protection against what I would say inevitably, monetary inflation, right? So big players like Paul Tudor Jones, Rentec are starting to, dip their toes into the space as a hedge against, the macro conditions. So you combine that with significantly better infrastructure, smarter people in the ecosystem, a lot more use cases that are being worked on. I'm quite bullish about the space and what's to come in next year.
Well, you've just raised 17 million pounds, so somebody feels pretty confident that you're onto the right track anyway. Prabha, it's been wonderful to have you with us. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you loads of luck with the launch.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Teana.
Take care.